What is your American dream?
My American dream is that everybody be optimistic. I think things are going to work out well. If we could all just make the world better by 0.00001, I think you're doing a good job.
My American dream is to enjoy this inclusiveness and freedom of America and have fun while it lasts.
My American dreams come true when I visited for a short study trip. I'm really impressed by the values and culture of the United States.
My American dream is for America to get its act together so that the spot where we're standing is not underwater in 10, 15 years.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Oh! Hello, everybody! Hi, Brad Squad! Happy Mardi Gras! Today is Fat Tuesday, and it's a big celebration all over the world. So I, Groundhog Sam, decided to celebrate myself. So I went next door to the Woolly, where I'm going to get myself a refreshing libation to celebrate. Mario! Hi, Mario!
Hey, son. How are you?
I'm great! Happy Fat Tuesday!
Happy Fat Tuesday as well.
I'm wondering if you might be able to make me a hurricane?
A hurricane? Yeah, absolutely.
It's
I have all the ingredients.
Wonderful!
You got it.
Thank
Give
you,
me 1
thank you.
second.
Oh, this could be good, Brad Spot. This is
I'll be right back.
Oh, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Groundhog Sam's about to get his hurricane on. Oh, yeah.
Here you go, son.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh,
Cheers.
this looks delicious.
It is. You have to try
you.
it.
Cheers. Thank you. Wow, this is delicious. It's already kind of going to my head, you know. Woo. I've heard that down in New Orleans, if you pull up your shirt and show people your stuff, you can get beads. And you know, I've got 8 nipples. I do. Why? Because I'm a groundhog. That means if I could show off 8 teats, I should be able to get 8 sets of beads. Don't you think? I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling like I might be able to do this. Come on, people. Show me some love. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Take another sip. Oh. Oh, yeah. Holy moly, I'm racking it in. Come on, people. 8 luscious groundhog nipples. Let's get some beads. Yeah. I am officially Mardi Gras out. One more thing. I've got to get king cakes for the Brad Show team and for Brad and Jonathan on the show. So I'll get those on the way back to the office. Let's go. Thank you, Mario. Oh, yeah. Well, that was a great time. Look at all the beads I got. Yep, Groundhog Sam showed his stuff and got the beads. And look what else I got for the team. I got king cake donuts for them. Hey, everyone. King cakes. Come and enjoy a Groundhog Sam special. Jennifer, Shannon, Sean, Patrice, Julian, Jill. Where are you guys? Help yourself before they're gone. Go, go.
Thanks, Sam.
Sure thing, sure thing.
Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome. Yay. So I fed the crew. Now I just got to make sure Brad and Jonathan are taken care of. And then we're ready. Perfect. Now everything's in its proper order for the show to begin. Did you miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, we covered Patricia Okamu's bail revocation hearing. Patricia is the woman who climbed the Statue of Liberty on the 4th of July last year, including the Eiffel Tower and an immigrant children's school in Austin, in order to protest the separation of children from their families at the U.S. southern border by the Trump administration. But in the end, Patricia was just given house arrest until she has to go back to court on the 19th of March. And Brad Show Live will be there to cover that sentencing as well. It's now the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-host Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy! Laissez-les bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. Oh, that was really not good. I don't think they're going to mind if I have one.
It's my day, Fat Tuesday.
Oh, please.
I'm fat, it's
No,
Tuesday.
you're not.
That's not what it is, it's Mardi Gras.
Yes.
Hello, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, what's going on?
I have to do a lot for these.
What did you have to do for that?
What do you think?
You lifted your shirt for those beads in the social media room?
I have no shirt under because
That
of
is
this.
right. Yeah, because I saw you walk in. I saw Jonathan walk in because I walked in around 5:25 into the social media room, which it's just basically the Bradshaw Live room, but we call it the social media room, but it could be called the Bradshaw Live room, either room. Either one works. And I saw you pulling down your shirt.
Yeah.
And I just caught like the last second. I said, "What are you doing?"
This is why you have no beads and I do.
And you said, you turned around. You said, "I wanted the beads." And the crew said, show
I
your
had to work for 'em.
TITS.
I had to work
and
for
Jonathan
'em.
went like this, and he got it. He got his beads.
Look at all these.
Yes.
I'm rich.
So you're rich in beads.
Yes.
And rich in love.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Which is the nicest rich to be is rich in love. Right.
Yes, absolutely.
And Mardi Gras is around the corner. I never went to Mardi Gras.
I haven't either.
It's
but
today.
all my friends, it's today.
It is
starts
today.
Tuesday.
It is
I didn't
literally
even know
today.
it started on Tuesday. All my friends are in New Orleans. New Orleans, baby. But I've never been.
Yeah. So meanwhile, I've never been either, and I have notes here on what this is all about because I don't even know what. Do you know what it's all about, really?
No,
I just know it's a
really.
big party, and it's right before Lent, and
Right.
But that other than that, I don't really know.
Sin before Lent.
Yeah, sin before Lent. That's all I know. But Mardi Gras, it's also called Fat Tuesday, refers to events of the carnival celebration beginning on or after the Christian feast of the Three Kings Day and culminating on the day before Ash Wednesday. Mardi Gras is French for Fat Tuesday. Didn't even know that. Reflecting the practice of the last night of eating rich, fatty foods before the fasting of Lent. That's all I knew. Right. Now, in countries such as the United Kingdom, Mardi Gras is also known as Shrove Tuesday or Shrove Tuesday. When you think of the colorful celebrations we know as Mardi Gras today, you might not think about medieval Europe, but that's where the story of the holiday begins. It began in France. It was the last chance to feast and celebrate before Lent, which is the 40-day period of fasting for Christians before Easter. And from there it spread to the French colonies, including what is now Louisiana. Louisiana used to be a French colony, and then if you remember, the United States bought, in the Louisiana Purchase, all of the Midwest from France.
Yes.
There was no war to get it. It was actually purchased. So in 1703, the French settlers in Mobile, Alabama established the first organized Mardi Gras celebration, and it's celebrated all over the world, believe it or not. It's celebrated in America. The most famous celebration is in New Orleans, where they conclude weeks of parades that began in January. But other southern cities with French heritage, such as Mobile, Alabama, celebrated as well. The celebrations in New Orleans began not long after the city was founded in 1718, and the parades began in 1857. But it's not just in New Orleans, and they have beautiful parades. I should make it there one day while I can still walk around. While I can still walk around and drink, right?
Yes,
I don't want to go there like in a wheelchair, right? That's not fun anymore.
Hey, you never know. It could still be fun.
It can still be fun even in a wheelchair. Maybe, yeah, but now that I'm still feel young, I should go, right?
You should.
Yeah,
you should.
Maybe next year.
Let's go next year.
Well, I didn't even know today was Fat Tuesday.
I knew
until these donuts, green donuts showed up on my desk.
Oh, and I cannot wait. You can't tell that they're green because they're king cakes. You can't tell because
they're green.
The green screen
behind us.
Trust
me, they're green. They are green. So in Belgium, the city of Binche, the Mardi Gras festival is one of the most important days of the year, and they have a carnival there. Around 1,000 guilds dance throughout the city morning through dusk. And in France, they celebrate in such cities as Nice, and in some of the old French colonies, like Guadeloupe and Martinique, they celebrate Mardi Gras as well. In Germany, the celebration is known a little different. It's called Schmutzker. I can't even pronounce this. It's like schmoozing, but Schmutzker. Schmutzker Donnerstag, which means dirty, but in the Almanac dialect, schmutz means lard. It's funny because in Yiddish, schmutz means dirty. Because German and Yiddish is very close to one another. In Italy, they call it Martedì Grasso Fat Tuesday. It's the main day of carnival, along with the Thursday before, called Fat Thursday. In Brazil, they have a big carnival as well. Brazil attracts 70% of its tourists during carnival season. The Rio Carnival is where over 2 million celebrate in the city. So it's a big carnival in Rio as well. In Colombia, they have a Mardi Gras celebration. In Czech Republic, There's a folk tradition to celebrate Mardi Gras, which is called Meat Fast, which is the beginning of fasting there, and there's celebrations in many places, including Prague. But the tradition also prevails in villages such as Stare Hamry with door-to-door processions. Who knew this?
I definitely didn't. No,
I spoke to somebody from Czechoslovakia today. Never mentioned a word to me about Mardi Gras, but apparently it's happening there.
Yeah.
What else? In Netherlands, they do it as well. And in Russia and Ukraine, they have the festivals as well. But it's a non-religious side that celebrates the end of winter and the upcoming summer. Mexico, they do it. Trinidad, Martinique.
I do want to go to Trinidad's Carnival.
I heard that's fun.
Yes.
Yes,
I heard
Trinidad's
it's
Carnival
really
is fun.
I actually have some friends out there.
Yeah, the event is Monday and Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. And the event, so I assume Denisha's not going to be around today, right?
No, she said Trinidad, it's called the greatest show on earth.
Yeah, Denisha's there today.
Denisha's here.
I thought she would be celebrating maybe.
She also said, come to Trinidad for Carnival. I'm actually trying to go next year.
Yeah, in Martinique, they do it as well. It's all over the world.
Yes.
Wherever you go, they're celebrating today.
Look at that. Beauty.
Look at that. In the meantime, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, let me say hello to the squad.
All right.
I haven't said hello to anybody yet. Tamika, how are you? Marge Higgs. Is this a new person? Enakram Rezarf. Have we heard his name before?
No.
I don't think so. Barbara Lord. Well, welcome. Everybody welcome Enakram. Marjorie Thompson, how are you? CC Mitchell, Sabrina Blessing, Asset Lindo. I know all those names. Jessica Kalimi, I know her. Barbara Lord, we know her, right?
Yes.
Devon Sr.
Yeah.
We know her for the most of the time.
Yes. She's
not there all the time. We notice when you're there all the time and when you're there most of the time. She's a most of the time person.
Jody Ann. Right.
Willie Williams is there all the time.
Yes.
Lisa Bling Rose all the time. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, all the time on YouTube and Facebook. Lisa Bling Rose says, squad up, Uncle Brad, Kimmy, and Yo-Yo. Kimmy is on extended vacation.
She is still on extended vacation.
Hopefully she'll be back soon. Tamika Nelson, Dawn Harriet. Asset Lindo says, Sam is getting drunk at the beginning of the show.
And didn't
What's going on with Guan? What Guan,
didn't bring
Sam?
nothing back.
Yes, he brought nothing back.
He brought some king cake for us, but I like me some liquor.
Yeah, didn't bring us anything. Didn't bring me anything, right?
Yes.
We could have brought something, right?
Some
Jägermeister. That's what they drink down in Louisiana, right? You ever drink that? That is some heavy stuff.
Yeah. It's cool with me.
Yeah. Lolith Platt, how are you? I've been to New Orleans. I've just never been for Mardi Gras.
I went to New Orleans for Essence Festival.
What is that?
It's in July, like the first week of July. It's
Essence Magazine.
Yeah.
Right,
so they throw a huge festival. It's like a 3-day event. They throw it at the convention center, and then at the nighttime they have huge concerts.
Oh.
The time I went there, Janet Jackson was headlining.
Wow. I was there for Jazz Fest.
Okay, so it's like before.
It's right before.
Right before.
Yeah. I went years ago for Jazz Fest.
How'd you like that?
It was so much fun.
I just love the culture out there. It's so
fun.
nice. It's just hot. I don't like it in the summertime, the humidity.
We like it hot here on Brad Show Live, though. No?
Well, in other ways.
Right. Denisha saying hello. And who else we have here? Kennedy Roy, always there. Lavonde Tucker, always around, right? She sounds like, we always say Lavonde Tucker sounds like she's like an artist.
Yes.
Right. Like a movie like the Academy Award goes to
Lavonde Tucker. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't
like
it sound
Loretta Devine.
Yeah, it sounds it. I don't know why.
Zane Supermom Gooden.
Yeah?
Zane Supermom Gooden.
Zane? Is that a new one?
Zane Supermom Gooden.
Is she new?
Hey, squads.
Is she new?
I don't
know. Perhaps.
But she's a top fan.
She's out there. She's been around then.
She's been around.
Kimmy probably knows her.
Yeah.
Kimmy knows everybody.
Right.
Right. Kimmy's like friends with everybody.
Come back.
Yeah. Kimmy's friends with everybody. Please, please come back. Kim.
Yeah, right.
I don't want people to think she's mad at me, but she's mad at me. Come back. I apologize, Kimmy.
We love you.
We love you. We wrote her letters every day.
Right.
We miss you.
Yes.
All right, and on YouTube, Simone Thompson, Marcine Frazier, Shanique Myers saying hello. Afzal A says, squad up, Brad Cruz. Watching you helping everyone with immigration, you sure a true superhero, Captain Brad.
Oh.
Jonathan already can't
Sorry.
even take his hands off the props.
This is actually really
all right.
good.
Yeah, it's a prop, Jonathan. It wasn't meant to be eaten, but go ahead and eat. Go enjoy.
Really
go
good,
enjoy. Carol Anderson, the top Tigers. Marcine Frazier, Zohan Powell, Fox Racing saying hello. Lisa Elliott, part 1 friend, been here in the United States for, she's already starting into questions. And everybody else. And while you are stuffing your face, Jonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, I will let you take a couple more bites. And then I'm going to ask you to tell everybody, well, first thing I'm going to ask you to tell everybody how to share, how to like, and then, of course, when we do all of this, Carol Anderson, the Tiger's going to say, yeah, blah, 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 blah. We've heard this before, right? Absolutely. Or Tamika's going to say, come on, we've heard this before. But you want to know what? We can't say it enough.
We can't.
We can't say it enough because you guys got to do what we ask you to do, and then we'll be quiet.
Especially since we're only at 16 shares right now.
Exactly, right.
What is that about?
Yeah, what is that about?
So, guys, you already know what the drill is. You guys have to share. We need these numbers to go up. Share right now. Usually at the beginning, I always say we're at least at 45 shares. Right now, we're only at 16. Let's share the show. If you're gonna share it to a group, a page, we love that, but most importantly, share it to an instant message. Make a group of friends, family, whoever you think might enjoy or benefit from this show in an inbox and share it to them. Now, we love for you guys to interact. We love for you guys to like, love, smile, sad face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, please. And also talk to each other. Give us comments. Talk to us about what you think about what we're talking about. If you want to talk about different stories, just like you guys are reminding us about who passed, reminding us about Trinidad's Carnival, whatever you want to talk about, we want to hear it, all right? Now for YouTube, you guys are not off the hook. We want you guys to also interact because we love hearing from you guys. But most importantly, we need you guys to copy that link and share it in a WhatsApp group. You could also share it on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or a text message, but let's try and do the WhatsApp group because we really like that, and that gives a boost on the show, all right? And also subscribe, and like the button right now. Everybody watching. And right now, we're about to go to Schmoozing with Brad. I said it right.
You did say it right. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Excellent. We're getting
We're
there.
getting somewhere.
We're getting somewhere.
Yes.
So, meanwhile, it came out today that before Michael Cohen blabbed about Donald Trump, he actually tried to get a pardon from Donald Trump. And he was not necessarily promised a pardon, but it was held out the possibility of getting a pardon down the line after all of this was said and done. Cohen absolutely denies that he ever asked for a pardon, but this news has come out that he did request a pardon to shut up. And apparently what happened was that Donald Trump, his lawyers would never guarantee a pardon. He said they would consider it. Right. And Cohen did not want to go to jail for 20 years under a consideration that Donald Trump may give a pardon. Now, ultimately, what caused Cohen to blab was, according to all reports, is that they were going to charge his wife as well, because his wife had signed the IRS tax returns, which were part of Cohen's fraud.
Wow.
So because
Did she know what she was doing?
Well, she could have been an innocent spouse. I don't know. These are just what reports. I wasn't there,
Gotcha.
you know, and I've never spoken to the wife, so I have no idea. I don't even know what the wife's name is.
Gotcha.
But the reports are that they were going to charge her as well, that she was looking perhaps at 30 years in jail as well, along with Michael Cohen, which is why he requested Donald Trump for the pardon.
Yeah.
Trump said, I can't guarantee you a pardon, even though Cohen went out of his way to do all of these things for Trump. So then he must have said, you know what, I'm not going to put my wife in jeopardy, send her to jail. She has to take care of my kids. And I stuck my neck out for this guy, Trump. And now I'm not going to be the fall guy and go to jail and have my wife go to jail and ruin everybody's life. So I'm going to start singing.
So with him singing now, is he still facing jail time?
He's going to go to jail for 3 years.
3 years instead of 20-something.
3 years instead of 20-something. Right.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. But why wouldn't Trump pardon him then?
Because,
I'm sure he has the power to do so.
Because he does have the power to do so, but then Trump is under investigation himself for obstruction of justice.
So if he
starts pardoning people, then that would be evidence of obstruction of justice. And by the way, a federal pardon, which is very important to think about, federal pardon doesn't cover state pardons. It doesn't cover state criminal convictions.
Okay.
So, for example, Paul Manafort, who everyone believes is going to be pardoned by Donald Trump down the line, is now being charged criminally in the state of New York as well, because the state of New York doesn't want him to be pardoned and get out of jail. So Trump can only pardon for federal crimes, not for state crimes. So now Manafort's looking at state criminal charges in New York as well now.
Wow.
So maybe even if Trump were to pardon Michael Cohen and he didn't sing, it's possible that the state could have charged him with state tax fraud.
Right.
You know, if tax fraud's a tax fraud,
Right.
whether it's state or federal.
Would that be as bad? It wouldn't be as bad, right? Like, how many years do you think he would have gotten for like a state?
I don't know.
No,
but a long time.
Oh, okay.
You can go to jail for a long time.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, some good news. Some good news from the HIV front.
I heard.
You saw that, right?
Yes.
They just came out that a second patient in London who was infected with HIV for 12 years,
wow.
AIDS, they gave a bone marrow transplant to him, an experimental bone marrow transplant to him. I guess this is the man. And they gave an experimental bone marrow transplant to him, and he has been cured of the AIDS virus for over 18 months.
Wow.
Meaning that it is undetectable when they run his blood. When they run his blood, it is undetectable that there's any AIDS virus,
yeah.
HIV virus in him.
Wow.
Now, they're not calling it a cure because maybe it'll resurface again in the future.
Right.
But the newspapers are definitely calling it a cure. And what the scientists are saying is that this procedure that this man went through is a very dangerous procedure because it could actually kill you.
Oh, wow, really?
So even though they did it, it's not really recommended to be done. I don't know why this man went through it, because they do have drugs now that can keep you alive for 20, 30, 40 years.
Right.
And you would also, what Jill is whispering in my ear is that he needed a stem cell transplant because of a second disease anyway. So he had to go through this stem cell transplant no matter what. But it's a very dangerous, you can die from this. And it's very painful and very expensive. And the risks outweigh the rewards when you can just take a pill and live for 20, 30, 40 years with AIDS.
No, I mean, with the actually with the pill, at least for HIV, you could still live a full healthy life.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would you go risk your life on a bone marrow transplant unless it had to have been done because of what Jill is whispering in my ears, because he had a second disease that needed it to be done.
Wow.
So now they have done this, and now they say that he is cured from the AIDS virus. They took out his bone marrow, and they put in somebody else's bone marrow.
Wow.
And with this new person's bone marrow, he has no more AIDS.
Wow.
So no more HIV virus. So this new case shows that the cure, and this guy was actually, even though it was done in London, he's originally from Germany, Berlin, that the cure is not an anomaly because this is now the second time they've done it. Now they say that the good news is that they know there must be some process that they can go through that they can cure people ultimately of the HIV virus. This is not going to be the process because it's too dangerous. But they know now that possibility exists, that they can do it.
You know what's crazy to me? Like, Dr. Sebi had this. He had the cure for HIV and cancer from like eating healthy and like herbs and stuff like that. And this is why they say this is a conspiracy, but they say that, you know, the man killed him.
Who's who?
Dr. Sebi, he's Honduran. He's like an older doctor, like herbalist that used to cure. He worked with a lot of different celebrities, and a lot of people used to go to him, and he said that he found the cure for cancer and AIDS and HIV, and it was really from like what you eat and stuff like that.
But don't you think that would have been, don't you think, and you're saying the man killed him but don't you think that would have been, had it just been from what you eat, don't you think that would have been duplicated somewhere in the world by somebody else?
I mean, whatever he had, though, whatever he said, because he had cured, I think they said, if it's true, then let's see some of your patients. And I think like 17 people just like came out and was like, oh, I actually was cured from him. So whatever he had, you know, but like I say this to say because, you know, now they're coming out with a cure of a disease that I feel like the man actually created. And the only reason why they're allowing this to go forth is because it's going to cost so much money.
Wow, you are really a big conspiracy theorist.
I am very much so.
You are a very big conspiracy theorist.
So.
I see that because every time
a real world.
Every time we talk about this, you're like conspiracy, conspiracy.
You guys have to understand this world is not. Listen,
nah, you know what? I believe in science, and just because 17 people said they were cured, let me see the scientific data of it.
Conspiracy.
You've been watching way too much YouTube. Way too much conspiracy videos on YouTube.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. Okay, here, next conspiracy. Okay, here it is, Jonathan. Let's hear your conspiracy on this one. Here's another thing, a link that the man, they say a decade-long study by the man shows no link between the vaccines and autism. You think that is also a conspiracy. A major study by the man, I don't know who did it, but the man did it, the study, offers no evidence that a vaccine that protects against measles increases children's risk of autism. It was actually conducted by researchers in Denmark and published this week in the Annals of Internal Medicine. And they examined children born in Denmark to Danish-born mothers from 1999 to 2010. The study strongly supports vaccination does not increase the risk for autism, does not trigger autism in susceptible children, and is not associated with clustering of autism cases after vaccination. It adds to previous studies through significant additional statistical power. Among the research participants, 6,517 children were diagnosed with autism in the next decade during the study, but researchers found no increased risk of autism among those who received the vaccination, which protects against measles, mumps, and rubella when compared with the children who did not receive immunization. The researchers also found that children who might be considered high risk, including those who had a sibling with autism, were not more likely to develop this disorder than those receiving the vaccine. What do you think of that one?
I mean, you know, I have to research more about it.
Have to research more about it. Okay, you're not sure about that one.
I'm not sure about that one.
Okay. Finally, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The deadline for somebody to claim the $1.5 billion lottery ticket in South Carolina.
Right, I heard about that.
The deadline is April 19th. It was coming up. And finally today, somebody came out, ending 5 months of questions and speculation about why nobody came. The winner was from October. She won $1.54 billion in the Mega Millions. Oh my God. She did not split it with anybody else. She was the only winning ticket.
Oh my God.
She is getting she has chosen to get a lump sum payment of $877 million.
What?
800. Let me repeat that again. That is a lot. That's a lot of Krispy Kreme green donuts, Jonathan. $877 million. $877 million. I can't even say the number correctly.
Because that's something that's unheard of.
Yeah. Now, back in June of 2008, if you remember on our show, we discussed a woman known only by the name of N. Gray, who won the cash prize in Jamaican lottery equal to $1 million. And
that ain't nothing.
I know, but if you remember what she didn't want to be,
right?
You know, she want to be.
What she have like a bag on her head?
She put a smiley face.
Oh yeah.
We have that. Yeah. She put the smiley face on her.
I think that's
on
grandma.
her head. Right. It could be. It very could be. So now this woman, we don't know who she is. We don't know her name. We don't know anything about her. All we know is that she has come forward, and there will be a press conference on June 5th where she will collect her winnings she will have a press conference at some point, and we'll see if she's going to also
she's
wear.
She's definitely not going to come without a disguise. She's going to have a disguise.
You think she's going to have a disguise?
You better have a disguise.
Meanwhile, the governor of South Carolina said that because the sole winner was in South Carolina, every state tax return filed in 2018 will get a $50 refund from the state because they've made so much money on her taxes. Because think about it, it was 1.5 billion, but she only got 877 million. So there's hundreds of millions of dollars in state taxes that this woman paid.
Yeah.
If she lived in Georgia, then Georgia would have got
a lot.
Then Georgia would have got the state taxes, or somebody else. So the governor said everybody in the state of South Carolina. Well, it's also federal taxes.
That's like almost $700 million.
Yeah, but a lot of it's federal as well.
So she won't get any of that. Like
she's getting out of $1.54 billion.
I'm saying, but all the
she's
taxes
getting
that
she doesn't get her taxes. No, she gets $877 million, almost $1 billion.
Yeah,
don't cry for this woman.
Yeah,
okay, don't cry for her. All right, and the taxpayers.
$50.
Yeah, and Glamour says, I have a strong feeling I'm going to be a lottery winner. And,
Amen.
I hope so.
Yes.
I really hope so.
Law of attraction. Throw that out there.
So,
me too.
Now, before we go to answering our immigration questions in the spirit of Mardi Gras and Carnival, we're gonna we had met a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Antoine. Now, Kenneth was born and raised on the island of Trinidad and immigrated to the United States at 19, around 20 years ago. He walked away from his medical career and successfully pursued costume designing for Carnival, with his work even displaying in the opening ceremonies of the 1996 Summer Olympics. We have just 2 or 3 minutes to watch in the spirit of Mardi Gras and Carnival. Let's watch.
I'm from the island of Trinidad and Tobago, the mecca of the carnival and design work. And growing up, I remember my mother was one of the main seamstresses that used to sew and make the dragon costumes for the big dragon bands in Trinidad. I had liked the art, and I used to follow and help her out. And then they were giving 5 years visas, 10-year visas. You could have come to the United States. Those who was interested in working, schooling, some of us came. I was one of the guys that came here with that. Pretty young guy, was like 19, 20, about that age, my first visit. Everybody's dream was, due to their parents, to be a doctor, a lawyer. That's all they ever speak about. So I got involved and I got a chance to work at Mount Sinai Hospital while I was doing LPN, licensed practical nursing. But I came and I had a little experience that was very rough. A young female in my building was giving birth. She was having a baby. They couldn't hold the baby, so I delivered the baby in the hallway. And unfortunately, after that experience, I did not want to see nothing red. For months, moving around, running to a friend and telling me, but you into art. You love drawing and painting and designing. He said, do you know that Parsons, the #1 school here in art, fashion, design, have scholarships open? I got my associate and I got my bachelor's. I'm an artist, designer right here in New York. In my field, the carnival field, the wire is known or is considered the bones. And coming here, and I got an opportunity to further it, to better it, and now to be able to teach it and show it. If you want to use feathers and you want to use backpacks, it must have a bone. It must have a structure. This is where my mass camp and production area takes place. I run classes, but when you come to my class, I give you the straightforward way of wire bending. These are the basic things for wire bending, and that is what makes the beauty of these costumes. Everybody talks about the United States. Everybody wants to migrate to this vast, beautiful land of opportunities. So I made my trip also. And in coming here, I saw things that I have never seen before, and I learned about things that I never knew about either. Nowadays, I understand it is very hard to come by a visa. So then those like myself, I could consider ourselves pretty lucky. The Olympics that took place in Atlanta, I think was 98 or something like that. I did the closing and the opening centerpiece for that ceremony. So my American dream, I did it.
That was amazing. That was awesome. So now, you guys, please, before we go into our next segment, you guys already know what you have to do. You have to share. Share, share, share right now. Share to people's pages, share to groups that you're in, and most importantly, share into people's inbox. Private message them, because that is how we can get our show out. You guys get more stories, more things to talk about, more things to listen to. It's very entertaining. So this is all for you as well, okay? And make sure you like, love, smiley face, sad face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, make sure you let us know by liking the video. And also interaction. We love to hear you guys talk, just like the question we asked. Would you guys go and claim your lottery ticket anonymously? A lot of you guys said yes, which is pretty smart. But we like to hear what you guys have to think, all right? So now, please share, like I said. And for YouTube, you guys also have to share too. What you have to do is copy the link and send it into a mass group text in your WhatsApp. Let's all do that right now. And as well, I need you guys to like the button. Press that thumbs up and also subscribe so you can get notified when the show starts. All right, and now we are going to the next segment where you call in and get some answers with Getting Answers. Call in with your immigration question.
There it is, there it is. All right, so we're going to go to, thank you, Jonathan. We're going to go to Tony in Hartford. Tony, how are you?
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on?
Yeah, I just have some few questions, you know. I had some persecution in Nigeria. I was attacked by Boko Haram, the jihadist sect. So I filed for asylum here in the U.S. So, but it was referred to the immigration court. So, but my question is, can I still win my case even providing more evidence and showing where I found it here? You know, can I still win my case?
So, if I understand, did you say something with Boko Haram, which is the terrorist group?
Yeah, Boko Haram.
Right.
I was attacked by Boko Haram in Nigeria.
And you went to immigration court and filed for asylum, and what happened?
I went to the USCIS office at filed for asylum. I was called for interview. Then after then, it was referred to an immigration judge.
Right.
So, but I'm skeptical if I will still win my case, even after giving more evidence and showing that I have a well-founded fear.
Well, I don't know what evidence you have, but in essence, a lot of times your evidence is just a detailed statement by you that is just so detailed and graphic that nobody would be able to make something up like this. I could also tell you that generally speaking, almost every person who files for asylum gets referred to an immigration judge. It is very rare that you actually pass an asylum case, especially now in the era of Donald Trump. So, it's like almost a rubber stamp. You file for asylum, go see a judge. So I wouldn't, as a matter of fact, I'm speaking to asylum officers who feel so dejected about it that they're just forced to just deny everything and send people to a judge. So I wouldn't overthink that, oh my gosh, I'm going to go see a judge now. Now, in terms of what are you going to do, to win your asylum case, I think we're going to need to speak with you and figure it out. So hold on one second. I think you're going to need. I'm not going to figure out. If you were truly arrested. 1 second. If you were truly arrested if you were truly captured and tortured by a terrorist group, we're not going to figure this out on my show. We got to sit down and talk about it on one-on-one.
No, I wasn't captured by them because capturing by them means death. The only group who were captured by Boko Haram
were the young girls, right?
Yeah, nobody has been captured and kept alive by the Boko Haram. No, it's like ISIS. If I've been captured.
You would have been killed. You would have been killed.
But the other question is, can I still go to school?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
While my case is pending.
Sure, of course you can. Hold on 1 second. Absolutely you can. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. All right. Telephone number to call is 1-800-529-5465. I think a lot of people must be out celebrating Mardi Gras.
Uh-oh.
Because this is the first time in Bradshaw Live history that nobody has called other than Tony.
Oh, y'all better call right now.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you need to share, guys.
Yeah, nobody shares, nobody calls. So with that being said, about a week ago, I had met with internationally recognized TV and film director Jorge Pérez. He did his third feature film called La Negrada, which opened up in Mexico City on August 10, 2018. It's the first Mexican fiction feature film portraying the country's black population who live in Costa Chica. Jorge joined me with an interpreter to discuss his newest film and why he felt it was important to showcase this little-known population of Mexico. Let's watch. Most people have no idea that there is a significant African-Mexican population in Mexico, some of whom have immigrated to the United States mainly because they feel that Afro-Mexican culture is invisible in their native land. In fact, 2015 was the first time there was a box to mark on the Mexican census if you were of African descent. Internationally recognized television and film director Jorge Pérez Solano was born in Oaxaca, Mexico. His third feature film, La Negrada, opened in Mexico City on August 10, 2018, and has been hailed as the first Mexican fiction feature film portraying the country's black population who live in Costa Chica, Mexico. Jorge joins me with interpreter Scott Wolf to discuss his newest film and why he felt it was important to showcase this little-known population of Mexico. Welcome, Jorge. How are you?
Muy bien. Gracias por la invitación.
So I understand that we have a trailer to see from your film.
Que hay un trailer que tenemos que ver sobre su película.
Let's watch the trailer and then maybe you can tell us a little bit about what we've seen.
Tú no eres mexicana, ¿verdad? ¿De dónde vienes, negra?
So wow, so this is the first feature film that stars African Mexicans. Can you tell us a little bit about what we saw in that trailer and specifically what made you want to tell this story?
Cuando existen actores afro-mexicanos.
Because in Mexico there exist African Mexicans. That's why I did this, to include a multicultural community. That's why we want to show this specific population of people. In relation to the history, I found there's a pioneer in the culture of Afro-Mexican community. It's a phenomenon that I would believe is throughout the country. The queridato, which means the dear one, it's a phenomenon where they mention that a man that has a wife and also a mistress, in particular within our community.
That's particular within the Mexican community, or that's particular within the Afro-Mexican population?
Es particularidad de México y también del mundo.
In particular, Mexico, but I believe throughout the world.
Okay, so
Bueno.
well, I don't know about that.
No sé si estoy de acuerdo
but
con
okay,
eso, pero
that's
dale.
your own life view, but I disagree with that.
Esa es tu
But,
opinión.
okay.
No estoy de acuerdo con eso, pero no, seguimos.
But what the story is about, for those who don't know, is about a man with his wife and family who also has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend is aware of the wife and vice versa.
Exactamente.
Exactly. And the mistress in this story, she wants to take over the position of the wife because the wife is dying. And the man, they don't know that he has other plans. So,
did he write the story as well, or is he just the director?
Yo escribí la historia,
no, I
hice la investigación.
I wrote the story. I did the investigation.
And how much of this story really centers on being an African Mexican, and how much is just a traditional love triangle story?
With respect to like the Mexican culture, apparently we started making these judgments. In the same book, it talks about how the community of indigenous people were not monogamous; they were polygamists. Huizla is the name of a town. The complete name is a much more elaborate name that's...
En español es Coajinicuilapa.
It's Coajinicuilapa. That's the name of the... He said I pronounced it good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you referred to a book. I assume you're talking about the African Mexican population, or maybe the Mexican population. But you said that there was a book, and it referenced that people were not monogamous. Is that how you base this whole story on?
Sí, hay un tema particular que
yes, there is the particular issue that I'm very interested in, and it's the interaction of family. And I think this concept, how we know it, it's invariably disappearing. And now we're trying to make other ways to reinvent it. We have to sort of establish these new norms that are now entering society.
You wrote a story about couples who are not monogamous. There's a wife, a girlfriend. There's a love triangle. Why do you think in today's society you have less monogamy?
What I've discovered in my investigations, I've noticed that family relations are destroying in very little time. More so in this current climate. And something that's similar is happening in this particular zone. This is a slow turning of the times.
And it's resulting from religion?
It's a part of it. It's a part of it.
There's a line in the trailer that we originally saw. It says, there are Mexicans no one sees. Why are they not known or recognized?
They're not known, and they're looking to be known, to be included in the Constitution of Mexico.
Are they discriminated against in Mexico?
Very much so. And you'll see it in some of the scenes.
What percentage of the population falls in this category?
They're 1% of the population.
And you chose Costa Chica, and you used people who are not professional actors. Why did you pick Costa Chica, and why did you not pick professional actors?
Costa Chica is because it's in Oaxaca, near the zone where I was interested in, and I chose the local actors because there are no African Mexican actors.
You wrote this, and you directed, but you yourself, you're not from African Mexican population. How did you make sure that your film is authentic?
I was living in this community for 2 years, and I tried to accustom myself to them, to their ways of culture. I don't know if I have an ancestor that might have been black or African. But I know that I have, when looking back, that I definitely have indigenous blood.
In learning and living in that culture and being, I assume, immersing yourself in that culture, is there a difference that you see between the Afro-Mexican population and the regular Mexican population? Or are people no matter where? They want to be loved, they want to be respected.
Es muy diferente la vida diaria.
The daily life is very different for the African Mexican. And especially when it comes to work. They're very happy people. They try to be. But in the conditions in which they're living,
it's not nice.
Que no es muy es no agradable. They're very far from getting support. One of the complaints they usually have is that a lot of people go to exploit their image.
As an example, give me an example of what do you mean exploit their image?
Hago una entrevista.
If I go do an interview, and I don't pay you, that's one example.
Les tomo fotos,
or if I take a picture and then, they never return, that's it. That's why at first they didn't want us to do the picture in this area. You know, from the people that wanted to act in it, when we started filming and they were following us, they wanted us to be paid.
Mucha gente de la comunidad.
A lot of people in the community work, and then they started realizing that this was not actually to exploit them, but it was a real film about them. One thing I'm sure of, this picture has really been a labor of love. The intention of doing a picture like this is to hopefully get the ball rolling to have more pictures like this.
In the trailer, when the guard asks the question, where are you from, Negra? Is that being used the same way as the N-word would be used in English?
Es posible.
Yes, it's possible. Amongst them, they call each other negro, and there is no problem. Why should I take negro as this was the coming from the people? Why would I be offended at calling me negro if that's what I am? It really depends on how the tone.
Exactamente.
So it could be taken as as a regular description. It could be taken as an insult. It could be taken as racism.
You know, we're looking at how they say it. Someone from the outside saying the N-word, and then someone when you're in the community using the N-word.
Those are two different things. You hear it in rap music, you hear it all over.
You know, it's apparently that you have to go to the communities and ask them themselves, how would you like to be called? In any town you go to, no one ever says African Mexican or Afro-Mexican.
They're called what? What are the different things that they're called?
Negro.
Negro. They like to be called negro, black. Darky.
Wow. You see, in English,
English,
to me, that's offensive.
Eso es ofensivo.
It's offensive.
Maybe in some instances it is offensive.
I guess it depends. In Mexico, it depends on in what tone and what manner you're saying.
Cuando llego a México,
when I arrived to Mexico, they were being very much discriminated against. They called people who were indigenous Indios. Indians. It's different than indigenous. And at first, when someone would call me this, I would get upset, angry. And then I decided to investigate what does it mean to actually be an Indian. And when I learned about where I come from, then I didn't feel the shame that the word brought. And the word Indio, it changed for me, the meaning of it.
I understand.
Entiendo.
Now, you got a lot of accolades for cinematography, and I saw even in the trailer, it just looked like a beautifully filmed movie. But frankly, you've also got a lot of criticism for projecting stereotypes in Afro-Mexicans. How do you feel about the criticism that you received?
I think the value of my work shows a point of view that some people will be in agreement with or not. I've had, discussions with various people with this question, and people always want you to think the way they think about stereotypes. Stereotypes exist regardless because they exist in real life. I think it would be more interesting if we dedicated ourselves to stop the stereotypes in real life, and then trying to stop stereotypes from being in films. We shouldn't censor them in films, and we work on censoring those stereotypes in real life.
Well, film mimics real life, and stereotypes are hurtful to a lot of people. They're derogatory, they hurt people's feelings, they cause wars, they cause anger. So do you have any empathy for somebody who may have been insulted by watching this movie?
No, I think it's really how we take it. You're always going to have these critics, but whether they're reporters or people in the media, you're always going to have your share of critics. It exists in the communities.
I understand. I'm always of the opinion that you have to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and have some empathy to how they maybe feel being portrayed, rightly or wrongly. So it's my only concern on the whole thing.
No, I think the objective, I was there 2 years, and I picked that place to reflect a real sincere portrayal of what it is to be in this community. I made the mistake of using a word, and from there it really snowballed.
Do you feel that your movie is a celebration of this culture?
There's something that really appeals to me. Like greater cultures from the past have fallen very low, and that's why what I'd like to try to identify, let's say, the Aztec culture, which was very important, and it was really a very important culture before the Spaniards arrived. And how can we now, at this time, look into this culture? How can we focus on this culture today? And how are we expressing what was in our blood from the Aztecs today? I would love to tell a story about the past and to see the Africans that were brought as slaves and their cultures and their beliefs and their customs. But unfortunately, I don't have much to work with. It's sort of This is where we are, and they've been absorbed.
That whole history's kind of been washed away?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of the people that I was working with, they still conserve, they still hold on to some of their traditions, African traditions. And there's a plant that they use all the time. It's called moringa. And this is what the slaves brought to America. And now that I went to New York, I had went to a store in Harlem, and I found that plant moringa.
I don't know what moringa is.
It's a plant used for healing.
Mm-hmm. It's legal?
Es totalmente legal.
Yes, it's possibly legal.
Okay, I don't know. Now, you had said that the rights of the Afro-Mexican population, they don't live with the same rights as a regular Mexican. Do you see that they want to immigrate to the United States or immigrate elsewhere?
It works both ways. They're fighting for their constitutional rights. In Afro-Americans, there's still a confusion among them.
Mm-hmm. Now, we are an immigration show, so I'm not going to tell you where I stand, but since we like to champion immigrants, you probably know where we stand. What are Mexicans thinking and saying about the wall?
The same thing that the government is saying, we're not going to pay for it.
Well, what happens if you don't pay for it and it just happens?
I mean, for me, involving like the economic, system is not the route to go. Mm-hmm. This is something that the governments between them are orchestrating and understand. There will be a lot of people who will accept it, and I believe that it will just increase more violence, more hate. We need to find a way to stop it.
Now, where can we see this film?
It's on Amazon Prime, and the public can see it. A richer platform by way of working with Amazon Prime.
Now, lastly, tell me about your dreams for the future.
To reach your dreams means it implies work. And now I'm working at another story of interest, and I have 2 months now at this location.
So it's wonderful. You're continuing your film career. I'm a member of Amazon Prime, so I'm going to watch the movie.
Yes, please, and send me your comments.
I will.
Está bien.
Jorge Pérez Solano, I really appreciate it. The movie's La Negrada. And Scott, thank you for a wonderful interpretation. And besides on Amazon Prime, is there anywhere else we can follow you on social media, follow your career, follow the movie?
Facebook. Yes, there's some some films that talk about immigration. Oh, the picture is called Espiral, and the second is La Tiricia.
Okay.
In English, perpetual sadness.
Perpetual sadness in English.
Sometimes immigration is perpetual sadness, but hopefully when they come to me, I make them happy at the end. So thank you very much, Jorge. Thank you, Scott, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Adios.
All right, that was an uncomfortable interview for me, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It was. It was.
First of all,
yeah.
Okay, this is the thing. First, I did read Marge Higgs saying, I don't even know how I would feel if I'm called black. I guess it depends on the tone and what was happening at the time when called so. So the thing is especially with the Afro, with any culture, really, the colorism is really a big thing, even in the black culture, African American, the Afro Latina. I have a lot of Afro Latina friends that are very dark, like chocolate, and they talk about how they're discriminated against their own kind because they're not the lighter skin Latinas. So I'm happy that he has this to showcase, the darker Mexicans, at least tell their story, but it is a lot of discriminating within cultures.
And he even used words that were discriminatory to them.
And the problem is he doesn't see it as...
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
Right, and he doesn't see it as that because, he's not La Negra. He's not like a darker, Mexican.
And I didn't understand what qualified... I asked him, I said, what qualified you to talk about what it's like to be...
Yeah.
Because
that kind of
what it's like to be a dark-skinned Mexican. What qualified you to be able to write about them and what they feel and their emotions? Mm-hmm. And he said, "Well, I lived with them for 2 years."
Yeah, that's not enough. That's not. You got to be them. Yeah, no, you have to be them.
Be them and experience what it is. It's not. I just lived there and I witnessed some stuff.
Yeah, because
so I'm not sure.
You're low-key treating them like animals. It's like, oh, I lived in the jungle and I found how. Like I'm just saying.
I don't think he treated anyone like animals. He actually he hired them all. I just don't know if he was qualified.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, you should, if you go through that lifestyle, then I can actually relate to it a lot more, you know, because it's different from seeing someone else go through that life and actually living it. So. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I am happy though that they are showcasing that.
Yeah.
Because the people do need to know about that. I didn't even know that they had dark Mexicans.
I didn't know either.
African Mexicans.
Nobody knew.
I knew about them in Dominican Republic, Cuba,
sure, I didn't know.
Puerto Rico, and stuff like that, but never knew about them in Mexico. So that's awesome.
Asset Linda wants you to read her comment, but I don't see where her comment is, Yo-Yo.
It's her question. I probably have to go in the questions.
Oh, I see.
I did want to ask people from Trinidad. So like, I got called. Somebody said that I look like a Dogla race. Dogla race, I guess it's African, a mix between African and East Indian. So I want to know, like, is that also almost kind of like the same thing as calling someone La Negra?
So you're like your ancestors. Some come from Africa. Some come from India.
If I was from Trinidad,
because there were Indians who there's Indians, there's Chinese,
right, like a Nicki Minaj.
Right, exactly.
So they said it's called Dogla race.
So where you're kind of like in a mix of
African and East Indian.
Right.
So I mean, I think it's it's like the same thing. You know, in each culture they have different people with different colors. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I could live there with them for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be able to write about I could write about them, but I wouldn't be able to write for them, which is different. And he wrote a story for them. I don't think I would be able to do it. Maybe he's, more capable than me. I don't know, but I don't think
he would be more capable than you.
Yeah, but in other words, I don't think that a general, meaning me as a general person, and I'm a pretty good writer, but me as a general person would be able to be, even living with somebody, to be able to put myself into their shoes and write for them.
Right.
You're not writing about, I could write about them, but write for them and put myself in their shoes and say, this is how they feel, this is what they would say at this moment when this particular thing happens.
Especially when you can say that we call them blackie and not really feel anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I was offended. I was like, yeah, that's very funny because Jonathan looked at me and I like, yep, you're right.
But like I said, though, I am happy that the story is out and people will be able to learn about them because I think that's very much so needed.
All right.
Oh, and they said yes.
What?
That's what we call it back in Guyana. Marchik said yes, it's true. You look like the Indians in Trinidad. So
is that what they call it?
I would be a Dogla race.
But you're not Indian. You don't have East Indian.
No, but I just did my
DNA.
My DNA, so I get it in the end of March. So we will see.
We will see what you are. I got to find somebody from Siberia and see what they would call a combination of a white guy and a Yukon.
You do. You need to find that out.
I'm a Yakin.
Look, you don't even know.
I don't even know what I am. Right, I don't even know my people.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to immigration questions. We have Danielle in Miami. Danielle.
Hi. I filed for my husband last year, the I-130, and this year I'm now actually ready to file the I-90 to change my name to his. Would it affect the filing? And once it's approved, is there anything else that I would have to submit to let them know that I changed my name?
Where is your husband now?
He's in Jamaica.
All right, so you're filing for him as a green card holder. Is that it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You do not have to take his name. It is a modern world. There's no law that says you have to take his name.
I want it.
And you don't have to take his name ever in your life, and it has no effect on immigration. So you don't have to ever notify them that you took his name. The fact that you submitted a marriage certificate to immigration that showed that you were free to marry him and you're a permanent resident allows you to file an I-130 visa petition for him. Name or no name?
But I want to file it. That's why I just want to know.
All right. So all right. So let's assume. All right. You don't have to give me your last name. Okay. Let's assume his name is Jonathan Elias, and your name is Danielle Bernstein. Okay. Danielle Bernstein can file for Jonathan Elias, and it could be Danielle Bernstein the entire time.
Okay.
You don't have to ever change your name. Is that the question?
Yeah, it is, but I also wanted to know, because I do want to change it. I do want to
at some point.
His name. Yes.
Okay, so when you choose as it's still a modern world in the future when you do choose to change your name. So let's say in 2 years from now, when he comes to America, you choose to change your name, or maybe in 6 months you choose to change your name. Whenever you choose to change your name, you choose to change your name.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's still no
Thank
effect
you.
on the immigration.
Okay, great.
All right.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right.
Bye.
Let's go to Rose in Indianapolis. Rose.
Hi.
Hi, Rose.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. I appreciate your concern towards helping us out with our question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have an issue I'm worried about.
What?
My dad had a visa for 2 years.
Your dad is a what?
My uncle. My
visa.
dad is in Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
He had a visa for 2 years.
Right.
But it was my uncle that invited him 2 years ago. So the visa got expired and he wanted to renew it. My name was being used as the contact person and the person they want to visit. I got my letter for interview and they copied my dad. I saw CEO, my dad's name. So I was worried. Why would my dad's name appear on my interview for the letter? So it became a concern to me.
Wait. Who mailed you a letter? I don't understand.
The immigration, I'm having an interview with them because I got married too, and I'm going for the interview with my spouse.
And the notice has your dad's name on it?
Yeah, the notice came with my name and copied my dad.
I have no idea. Obviously, it was some mistake at some point. I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't know why your dad would be copied on, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. Your dad has nothing to do with this case.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure they probably just made a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Immigration makes mistakes all the time. I wouldn't worry about it.
Wow, thank you, sir.
All right?
Thank you.
All right, hang in there and take care of that kid. I think he needs a pacifier or something. All right, okay, take care.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes, needs a passy, that one. Yes. All right, so...
I do want to read, because we do ask for interaction, and I love that you guys are giving interaction about the interview that you did. Jordianne White said, I'm black and I'm proud, always stand out in the crowd.
That's right.
I like that. I got one from, there's a lot of I'm proud of being black, like from Marcia and West Sugar.
Right.
And then we had one from Marge Higgs. So this was actually what you were talking about. Showcasing the darker ones is not the issue. The language is what bothers me. He's not even one of them, and that makes matters worse. So that's kind of, what I felt, what we kind of felt. Marge also says that it's also capitalizing. They could find a better way to showcase it. So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Dawn Harriet, I just want to be clear. Okay, Dawn Harriet says Brad doesn't see black or white; he sees people, which is very nice. Thank you. Okay, but I'm not blind.
Right.
Okay. Of course I see black. You're a black person. Of course I see that. You are.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, you are. Okay. So I see it. I'm not blind about it. But the point is that I don't, as much as you don't want to. Everybody at some level prejudges somebody. It's just you can't not. To say you don't, it's just a lie. No matter how much you don't want to.
Right.
Okay, but I try my best, and I think I do it as good as any human being on this earth. Never to prejudge anybody before you actually meet them.
Right.
Which is the best thing you can do.
Yes.
Because you never want to stereotype and say, oh, you're black, so you're XYZ.
Absolutely.
Or you're Jewish, so you're XYZ.
I agree.
Okay. You're Jewish, so you must, be all about money. You're black, so you must, I don't know, whatever the stereotype would be. So I mean, there's a lot. So I'm gonna pick 100 of them. So, but the point is that I try not to prejudge people before. But at some level, everybody does. It's impossible. Even black people prejudge white people.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
I mean, that's
it's just reality.
It's reality is what humans do.
But what I try to do as a lawyer, as a human being, as what I try to teach my children is. You never prejudge somebody before you meet them.
Yes.
Okay, there's good and bad everywhere, but at some point, everybody, it's just a reality of life. So to say I don't see it at all, that's just not true.
Yeah.
I'd like to think you don't, but some level you do.
I get it.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
You get
absolutely.
It? All right, and that's the reality of it. All right, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, man, you're black, man. I didn't know that.
I am blackly black, black, black.
Let's do something we call social media check-in.
All right, our first one comes from Katie. Very important question. I was arrested for shoplifting in December. It was my inadvertent action, and I'm really feeling bad about it. It was my first and last time offense, misdemeanor M. I completed the diversion program and my case was completely dismissed before the court date. So will I have any issues on my interview? My husband and I submitted for the marriage case in January to adjust the status, and also he had petitioned my child from my ex-marriage to bring into the U.S.
Well, whenever there's an arrest, it becomes an issue in your case, but the fact that you did the pre-diversion means you don't have a conviction, so they can't use it to deny you. Just make sure you tell the truth and bring in your disposition. You were arrested and the case was dismissed.
All right. Asset Lindo, your question. Brad, I need to know the forms I need for a minor.
What kind of minor? I mean, forms for what? To file for a minor?
Let's say that.
An I-130 visa petition, but I don't know where the minor is. Is the minor here in the United States? And we're going to do an adjustment. Asset, we need more info. We'll get back to you on it.
Okay. And Duty says, Brad, I really appreciate your show, and you've helped a lot of people here to achieve their American dream.
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Now, this goes to me. I got married, and my wife filed my I-130 my I-130. And 130, he says. And now I want to file my I-485 adjustment of status, but my spouse hasn't paid her tax for the past years. I wanted to know if she can support me with this affidavit of support, and if I file with her affidavit of support filed and last year's W-2 and letter from her office where she works presently.
You need to provide a tax. She's got to file a tax return.
So she has to.
She has to.
You have
and if she doesn't file a tax return and she's working, then what she needs to do is contact us, and we'll get her in touch with Carmela, our tax attorney, who will fix it for her.
All right. There you go. Edith, I asked yesterday now if NVC can ask for a DNA.
The NVC does not ask for a DNA. You're going to get asked for a DNA from USCIS, perhaps, to get the I-130 approved. You can also be asked for a DNA from the U.S. Embassy after the interview. I've seen that as well, but not from the National Visa Center.
Okay.
All right.
Mary Anderson says, asking for a friend. Her boyfriend had to do his citizenship 3 years ago, but he didn't pass his test. She wanted to know if she can still get married to him, but what if he applied again and doesn't pass it? What can she do? She's really afraid.
File the I-130, get on a waiting list, and even if he never becomes a citizen, you'll get a green card in about 2-3 years.
Lazia Elliott says, part 1, friend has been here in the U.S. for over 17 years. On his second marriage, the last marriage, he's been married for 5 years, but living together for over 6 and has 2 boys with that union, ages 8 and 4. Now, part 2, his wife filed for him and was granted a social and work permit. He went for his interview accompanied by his wife in September 2018, and he found out immediately after his wife filed for divorce. Okay, now this is part 3. He received a letter of denial from immigration February 2019 and was ordered to leave the country within a month. What are his chances of petitioning for himself, bearing that he has 2 children with his wife, and he has been in a legitimate marriage, living with his wife for over 5 years?
Unless he was abused, there's no chance. So physical abuse, extreme emotional abuse, and there's no letter from immigration that says leave in a month. They may just say you get out of the country, but that's a worthless letter. You got to be ordered deported from a judge.
So what should he do?
Either if there was abuse.
But if there wasn't?
Then find another way to get a green card.
Okay. Roseanne says, I renewed my work permit and parole. My card arrived yesterday, but it came with my name that was wrong and saying that the fingerprint available, saying not or no fingerprint available. What should I do?
What do you mean no fingerprint available?
Just says that, so the card came in with my name wrong and saying not fingerprint available.
Oh, don't worry about the not fingerprint available, doesn't matter, but the name wrong, you go file again to get the right name. Is this for her work permit or green card?
It says work permit yeah. And parole.
Yeah, so unfortunately, you're going to have to request a new work permit, because if this is your first work permit, you're going to get a social security number in the wrong name. Or if it's your second work permit, you're not going to be able to match your work permit to your social security number with a different name. And if you travel on advance parole, your passport's not going to match the name on the advance parole. So unfortunately, you got screwed and you got to refile it again.
Okay, also she has a follow-up. She also has a vowel pending in the interview from the marriages on the 27th. What should she bring to the interview to prove and ask them to put it on hold?
If she has an adjustment interview pending based on the marriage case, she brings proof that she has an I-365.
All right. Ken Kibet says, hey, Brad, squad. Can you file for a vowel if you're not married, but basically been in a relationship and living with the abuser?
No, but maybe a U visa.
Okay. Abena says, please, I would like to know if one has to attend an interview for a waiver I-601A.
For the waiver?
Mm-hmm.
For the I-601A, no, because it's all done on paperwork.
All right.
But eventually you get the provisional waiver and then you go for your interview back home, and that's when the interview is.
Okay. And this is from an Arabic name that I can't read Arabic, so this is for you. Hello, it's been 3 months. My case in AP at U.S. Embassy in Mauritania. They turned my passport back at time of the interview with a white slip asking about about person information. I did what they asked me, but there's no update since December 3rd, 2018 date, the interview. I would like to know if I have to email the embassy again, ask them about my case, and what's the chances of getting my visa approved.
Why was it not approved?
So it said they turned my passport back and gave a white slip asking for personal information. So she says she did what they asked for, but she hasn't have it.
But I don't know what the problem was. She's
Right.
asking me, you know, this is like a magic 8-ball question.
Right.
You know, will I get my visa? I don't know what happened there. I need to know more. But the magic 8-ball says the outlook is good.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
magic 8-ball says
that's
okay.
what. Yeah. I wouldn't take that advice. All right, W Sauce says, hey, Brad, one of my cousins adjusted status through marriage, but he was overstayed through a B2 visitor's visa, and now he has a 10-year green card. Can he apply for citizenship?
Yes.
Mammy says, hey, guys, I wanted to ask, how long is the wait after you interview?
Interview for what? A job? Interview for on the red carpet at the Academy Awards. What interview are we talking about?
I don't think that's asking for that.
Citizenship
kind of
interview, adjustment interview, interview at a U.S. embassy.
Child, I don't know. That's all I got.
All right. Well, it could be a magic 8-ball. How long?
Right.
How long till she gets something after an interview, or will she get? Is she? All the magic 8-ball says it's certain.
Okay.
You got to be very specific in your questions.
Yeah. Jordan White says, I have a question. My friend met a guy. He was born in the U.S. She met him at college in Newark. He attended, where he attended. He went on trial for robbery and lost it and did 10 years. He's coming home on the 18th of next month. He told her he wanted to marry her. And if they did tie the knot, would he be able to let her get a green card?
If he's a citizen and he did the time and he's out free, why not?
You did the time, or you did the crime, he did the time.
You got to do the time.
Yeah.
Now you can do it, yeah.
All right. Tanisha Tennant, hello, Brad. If I was to renew my work permit with an advanced parole, should I file both the I-765 and the I-131 form to obtain both?
Yep.
Sophia R. Gray, question for a friend. How long will it take for a son to file for his parents, and if he can file for them on his green card?
Can't file on a green card. You got to be a citizen.
Marge Higgs says, good evening. I'm asking for a friend who got her work permit at as well as her SSN, her social security number. How long will she, how soon will she get to travel or get her travel document and her green card?
Based on what? Adjustment?
I guess just getting her work permit and SSN.
So I guess she adjusted her status. How long? I guess I'm assuming you did an adjustment. Any time between now and the next 24 months. I have no idea.
Okay. And
yeah, I mean, you got to ask a little. Give me a little more specifics here. I filed on this day.
Right.
I got sponsored by my spouse. Mm-hmm. I did my biometrics on this day. I live in this state. When do you think I would get an interview?
Got you. Angela says, I'm asking for a friend. She is a U.S. citizen. I hope that when you guys are asking for a friend, you're telling your friends to watch the show, because we're getting a lot of asking for a friend.
But the friends don't seem to watch.
Yeah, we need them to be watching as well, because they can learn a lot of stuff as well as getting the answers to their questions. So I'm asking for a friend. She is a U.S. citizen, but how long will it take to get a divorce? And how long after can you get married back?
You can get how long is a divorce? It depends on what state, but let's assume it's in New York, and even in New York, different counties. If you go upstate New York, a divorce can take a couple weeks. You know, in Nassau County, it could take 9 months. So it depends where you're filing the divorce, but you can get married the next day.
Yes. Dorette Morris says, I'm a U.S. citizen. I have my mom living with me. She has dementia. Is it possible for me to sponsor a family member from my country, Jamaica, to help me help her?
No.
Tams Parker says, hey, team, I
mean, the answer is yes, but you're going to wait 1.5 years, 2 years.
So it's not enough.
Yeah, but she's dementia, so you're not going to get somebody right away. It's going to be like 2 years to sponsor somebody for a green card.
So she can get someone from Jamaica
like
to
some
help.
some sort of domestic worker. Yeah, it could take about 2 years.
Okay.
But it wouldn't be a family member.
It wouldn't be a family. It can't be a family member.
Can't sponsor a family member in a job.
There you go. Can you sponsor a family member to come and help?
No.
Not a job?
No. Just would be a job.
All right. Tams Parker says, hey, team, I got a question, too. I was issued a green card valid for 10 years, but I've been married for less than 2 years. Do you think it was a mistake?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Ooh, shoot.
Damn. Wait, so
when you go to renew your green card or when you go to do your citizenship, it's going to be caught. So what I would do is if you were married for less than 2 years on the day your green card was issued, you should go and do an I-90 and say a mistake was given. I should be a 2-year conditional green card holder, not a 10-year.
And they're not going to, give you a little extra just for telling the truth?
Nope.
Like when you find a wallet on the ground.
No. Because what's going to happen is when it ever is discovered, they're going to say you have not been a permanent resident for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Oh.
She's going to totally get screwed down the line.
Oh, so do what's right. Fortune says, or Fortune says, hello, Brad. Can an adult who has overstayed her tourist visa in the States stay back and adjust her status through a petition by a USC parent?
Can a doll?
An adult.
An adult.
And does she need a waiver for the overstay?
Yes and yes. And she would have to go home to get it.
She would have to go home. All right, Ken Kibet says, hey, Brad, another question. I've got an RFE for a VAWA to provide a statement and evidence about a bona fide marriage, and I did. I noticed on the letter sent they only put an X on the bona fide marriage part. So do you think everything else is fine since they would have indicated on the letter they sent? Can you use the magic 8-ball if you can't give me a precise answer?
It sounds like everything else is okay, except you have to prove it's a bona fide marriage. Okay. I don't need the magic 8-ball.
You don't need that for that?
Nope.
All right, Tanisha Tennant says, let me see, we have mornings in Jamaica too. It's used for, it's used for healing and pain. I took it for my arthritis inflammation. It helped me so well. Moringa. This is what we were talking about. So we have moringa in Jamaica too, and it's used for healing and pain. I took it for my arthritis inflammation. It helped me so well.
Oh, good.
See?
There it is. I didn't know what it was. That was from our thing. People watching.
People are watching.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
And happy that it helped you.
Good.
10 Analma says, I finished my biometric in December 19, 2018. When I checked the status, still showing 8 months. Do I have to wait that long?
Yep. Yep.
All right. Simone Thompson says, hey, Brad, is immigration officer different from the immigration services officer? I have my interview.
Same person.
Same person.
Same person.
All right. She said, I have my interview in a couple of weeks, and on the notice it said, ask for the immigration service officer.
Same person. The immigration officer and the immigration service officer is the same person.
All right.
It's like the police or the police officer. Same person.
Gotcha.
Got it?
Got it. Rachel says, hey, Brad, my friend lost her green card lost his green card, and he applied for another one. It's now eight months, and he has not gotten a reply about it.
I don't know what he's done, but certainly it's a problem, and he should come see me then.
Oh, so that's a problem.
That's a problem.
All right, and let me see if we have any more. I think we are done.
All right, let me go. There's a bunch of people on hold here so let me go back to our telephone calls.
I do have some, but...
All right, let me go do my telephone calls, and then we'll come back to you. How's that? Okay. All right, let's go to Kendrick in Clearwater, Florida. Kendrick. Kenrick?
Hello?
Kenrick, how are you?
Hello.
How are you,
Hello,
Kenrick?
hold on. Let's take your speaker. Hold on.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, yes, I'm okay. Thank you.
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, so the question I have is about, say you used to work, a person work on a cruise ship,
right,
which is a U.S. cruise ship, and they have a work permit and so forth, and the person want to live in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Can the person do anything to do any form of adjustment or support? I already have a work permit and work documents and so forth.
How do they have a work permit from working on a cruise ship?
In order to work on a cruise ship, don't you have to have some form of permit or something?
No, you have a visa to go work on a cruise ship, but that doesn't make
visa,
you that doesn't give you a work permit to go work in the United States.
Like that. Right.
If you overstay, if you were supposed to go work on a cruise ship and you don't get on the cruise ship, you are out of status here in the United States of America, and you are barred from adjusting unless you qualify under 245I, or unless you get a parole in place, which would only really come from being married to someone in the military or former military, or having a parent or son, having a son or daughter over the age of 21 who is in the U.S. military or former military.
Okay.
Other than that, you would have to go home.
There was the next question I have, but because it takes so long to get for me to answer, it slipped my mind.
Oh boy.
You know.
All right. I can put you on hold and come back to you in a few minutes if you want to remember.
Yeah, man. I can do that. Yes,
all right,
yes,
hold
yes.
on. All right.
Yes.
All right. He'll remember that in a few minutes. We'll come back to Kenrick. Let's go to Mamuni in the Bronx. Mamuni.
Hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Brad.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm Mamuni from the Bronx.
Yes.
I just have a question. I'm asking on behalf of my friend. My friend got his asylum application denied in 2015, and now he's married to an American citizen. Is he qualified for a green card?
Yes, but if he was in deportation or ordered deported, he's got to deal with it with the judge.
Yeah, he was ordered deported.
Yeah, so then he needs to reopen his case, okay? Because if he's been ordered deported and didn't leave, there's a warrant out for his arrest, and he needs help with a lawyer. So hold on one second. We got to make a motion to reopen his case. Let's go to Damien in West Palm Beach, Florida. Damien.
Hello, Brad.
How are you?
My question is, so I had gotten married in 2015. I got my 2-year conditional green card, but later on in the relationship, my wife had filed a divorce.
Right.
So at this point, I am removing the condition on my green card.
Right.
So I had filed everything to the USCIS. I had gotten a response saying that they sent me an RFE to provide more evidence.
Right.
No, I had submitted like photos, bank accounts, all that stuff that I had submitted previously to them. Mm-hmm. They responded and said not to send these documents again, mm-hmm. but then to send documents stating that we, like a deed and all that stuff. Like she never had none of that stuff.
Well, they're not satisfied that you're in a bona fide marriage, so we got to come up with something. All right, I
responded back with them with an explanation why I cannot provide this information.
Then you're gonna get an interview now, and hopefully you'll be able to prove at the interview it's a real marriage.
So that is going to be the next step. An interview will be, because I was told that they could just deny you right off the bat.
No, you'll get an interview first. All right,
okay.
And I think
I
don't know if you're doing this on your own or with somebody, but I would suggest you get some good help on this.
Okay, so
right, hold on one second.
So
hold on one second. Let's go to Annie in Brooklyn. Annie. Let's try Annie one more time. Annie in Brooklyn. Annie? We're going once. Annie going twice.
Hello?
Annie.
Yeah?
How are you?
Okay.
I was about to hang up on you. You got me at the last second.
No, I didn't hear you. No, I hear you.
Okay. What's going on?
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's a different Annie now.
Okay, I have a question. Me and my husband, we married since 2017. He's American citizen. Yeah, so we did our green card interview 2018 March. So I didn't get back a reply. I didn't get back a reply until today. It's going to be 1 year, March 8th of this month. Hello?
I'm listening. I'm waiting for the question.
Oh, that's the question. Like,
you went for an interview and you haven't heard anything in a year.
I haven't received any green card or anything.
All right,
no.
I think it's time for a lawyer. Nobody's working on your case. You went for an interview and nothing's happened in 1 year.
And another question.
What?
I sent in my green for my work permit. They sent back the money and everything. But,
it sounds like you're screwing everything up. Maybe your case was even denied for all I know. Okay, so if they're sending back the money, either you didn't do the work permit right, or did they send back the application as well?
They send no, not the application.
Did you get a receipt? Did you get a receipt notice back for the work permit? Okay, so then maybe they're not. You don't need to pay for the filing fee. What they're saying, but for whatever reason, nobody's looking at your case, and it's been a year. Okay, so what does a lawyer do? A lawyer starts harassing the Immigration Service for an answer, tries to figure out what the underlying problem is and fix it, or files a mandamus action to force the government to make a decision. Okay, that's a lot different than you sitting on your hands and thinking about wondering what you should do. All right, so hold on one second.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So meanwhile, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Yes, sir.
We started talking about Annie. Are you okay? We were talking about Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Right. Yesterday. And did you watch the second half?
I have not yet.
You have not. So we don't know what the second half
not
brings.
Yet.
Now today, Corey Feldman, if you remember him, he was in the teenage movies. All right. He
back
was
in the 80s.
Back in the 80s, he was buddies with Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Right. I think wasn't he also in like that movie where
The Goonies.
The Goonies, but wasn't he also in that movie where they take like Kelly LeBrock and like make her into like something Weird Science?
Was he in Weird Science?
Was that him in Weird Science too?
I'm not sure.
You know, like when they take Kelly.
Weird Science,
yeah, when they take Kelly LeBrock and all of a sudden like they make the doll into. I think that was him, but maybe not.
Weird Science.
Yeah, I like that movie. And they have the big party, right?
Yes,
cool.
I used to watch the actual TV show.
Yeah, they become cool all of a sudden.
Right.
So I don't know if that was him, but maybe it was him. So any event, now he claimed for the last several years, well before any of this whole Michael Jackson thing came out, that he was molested as a child, by multiple people in Hollywood. Okay, as a child actor, and he hung out with Michael Jackson.
Yes.
And there's plenty of evidence that he hung out with Michael Jackson.
Yes.
And he has now slammed the HBO documentary saying Michael Jackson never molested him.
Right.
And he says why would Michael Jackson, I'm hanging out with him all the time, not molest me and molest other people, because child molesters can't hold their urges back. They can't hold their urges back. So if they're going to molest one child, they're going to keep molesting everybody.
Look at R. Kelly. Like, he's been caught so many times, but does not care. Literally has videos out of him still having sex with 14-year-old girls.
Because he can't control himself.
Because you can't control yourself.
Right.
There is no reason why Michael would not have been doing that even after he had kids. That's the reason why he didn't have to hang out with kids anymore.
And by the way, I'm very disappointed to find out that Corey Feldman was not in Weird Science.
He's not. No, I just researched it, and I wasn't gonna call you out.
Yes, I got called out by Jillian right here. Oh well.
I researched it while we were doing it. I was like, he wasn't in that.
Who was in Weird Science?
He was in Stand By Me and Lost Boys and all that. But
right. Who was in Weird Science?
I don't know their names.
Anthony Michael Hall. Oh, he was the other. No, he was the other guy.
Yeah, I would.
He and Corey Feldman were like buddies back in the 80s, and Michael Jackson. So anyway, Corey Feldman on Twitter said #Neverland. Okay, I watched it. All I know is what I experienced, and yes, every experience was the same right up to the sex part. That is where it becomes La La Land instead of Neverland for me. We never spoke about sex other than a few warnings about how sex was scary and dangerous. He's referring to Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, and then never once swore in my presence. He never touched me inappropriately and never ever suggested we should be lovers in any way. I feel like if people could hear our conversations, they would hear the innocence in them. There was no hint of perversion from Michael Jackson. I have a tape I'm thinking about releasing, which could give people a real look at what a 30-year-old man who was really a child and a 13-year-old boy would discuss. So everyone could hear the innocence of our relationship. Again, I wasn't there when those boys were there, but I was there around the same time as Jimmy, and I saw many kids around, girls included, who I am still friends with to this day, and none of us were ever approached by Michael Jackson in a sexual way at all. I'm continuing his tweet. It's a long tweet. So as much as those two men deserve to have their voices heard, so do the thousands of kids who hung around Michael Jackson that don't agree. Most pedophiles are serial offenders. They don't have self-control. So given the opportunity, which he certainly had with me and others, being alone with no parents around, how did he control those urges so well while so blatantly sexual with those two boys? It doesn't really fit the profile. But what motive besides money do they have? Abandonment is a strong one.
What did I say? Abandonment. That's what they felt. They felt abandoned when he was hanging with the other kids, when he wasn't flying them all over the world. When you're used to that lavish lifestyle and now you're not getting that. Come on. Wade Robinson, and especially Wade Robinson, he has always been a little crook. He used to have all those little dance videos that he was trying to sell.
I don't know who he is.
Wade Robinson, he was a choreographer for NSYNC, Britney Spears, and he tried so hard to keep his image alive, and it didn't work. So that's exactly what they want. And both their, you know what's crazy though? Both their fathers committed suicide.
Really?
Jimmy and Wade Robinson.
Weird.
And I told you, that was the only time I actually saw emotion from Wade and his family, was when they talked about how they abandoned their father to come to the States to pursue Wade's career. That's the only time I saw the real emotion, and that's because he killed himself from being lonely. The father said, please don't leave. That's why I know it's fake. Get out of here, dude.
Meanwhile, Corey Feldman, I want to finish this. Yeah, get out of here. So meanwhile, he says, my memories, and thank God for me, my memories of Michael Jackson were mostly fond, aside from one argument and one fight because he incorrectly feared I would turn on him and make up lies. I never did. I never would. I pray those boys can sleep with that same clarity of consciousness. Let God be their judge.
Amen.
And of course, the other news in entertainment land, Luke Perry from Beverly Hills 90210.
Yes.
He died of a massive stroke.
Yes.
He looked like a healthy guy, so I don't know what happened.
52 years old.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he had the stroke last week on Wednesday.
Yeah. So he had the iconic picture on Rolling Stone magazine with him and Jason Priestley and I forgot the girl's name.
From She Was on Charmed.
Yeah, what's her name? I forgot her name. But no. The brunette.
Yeah,
but I remember, that was the Shannon Doherty. Thank you very much. And of course, he was famous for having a pig as a pet in the 90s. It was always in People magazine, him and his pig.
Definitely don't remember that.
And he became synonymous with Dylan McKay from 90210, and rest in peace.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any last social media questions?
We do have a couple. So we have a follow-up from Asset Lindo. So it was, what are the forms to file for a minor 7-year-old child in Jamaica?
And if it's going to be an I-130 visa petition, whether you're a citizen or resident.
All right, Empress. I have a follow-up question to the caller Danielle, and her name changed to her husband's. I'm a green card holder. What form would I have to file, and how long does it take? I'm so happy to hear it won't affect the papers I filed for my husband.
As a green card holder, you can file an I-130 and I-130A.
Carlo Reyes.
And it'll take about 3 years.
Okay, 3 years. Carlo Reyes says, can I apply for citizenship even if I had a simple assault misdemeanor and spent 2 days in jail?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what it was.
All right. Trudy Ann Thomas says, I have a sister that has been out of the States for 6 years. She is now in Jamaica. I wanted to know if she would be able to come back to the States before her green card expires this September. She has a 10-year green card, by the way.
How long has she been out?
She's been out for 6 years.
No, she needs an SB1 visa if she wants to try to come back, or she can turn in her green card and get a visitor's visa.
10 says, I finished my biometrics in December 19th, 2018. When I checked, the status is still showing 8 months. So this was the one we asked, but then you said she would have to wait that long. But she says, once I got the citizenship, wanted to apply for the fiancé visa. So
yeah, so citizenship takes 12 to 24 months right now. So as soon as you become a citizen, you can file for the fiancé visa.
So you have to be the citizen first, and then okay, that's what she wanted to know. Nicolas says, my OPT expires in May, and I just filed for a green card. My work permit will arrive after the OPT expires. Is there a way where I can still keep working until my work permit arrives?
Not legally. And that's it?
So no.
Okay.
I was going to say, so what should you do? But you can't tell him to keep on working because that's
work
illegal.
Illegally, right.
Shujat says, how long is
now, he's married to a U.S. citizen.
Does not say.
All right. If he's married to a U.S. citizen, that's what he's waiting on, his work permit based on marriage to a citizen. I will say the fact that he works illegally is not a bar to him getting a green card.
Okay.
If that helps him.
That would help. Shujat says, how long is the processing time for I-290B and I-485 denied?
A long time. You're better off to refile again.
Refile. Fox Racing says, Brad, can you admit to an USCIS officer that you were working illegally if the officer asked the question? And what are the consequences if you admit to you working while you were undocumented?
If you are married to a U.S. citizen, there are no consequences. However, if you started working within the first 90 days of you coming to America, then you made a misrepresentation on what your purpose of coming to America was if you didn't have a work visa.
And would they find out?
If you admit it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you don't admit it.
I don't know. Will they find out?
Oh, it's just a risk you have to take?
Well, you tell the truth.
Oh, so you
tell the truth.
Just saying. Yeah. You know, some people might say, like, they might lie and say no.
You tell the truth.
Okay.
Right. There's no reason not to.
All right. All right. Cammie Campbell says, from start to finish, what is the estimated time process for a derivative? Yeah, it's not spelled right. Beneficiary to actually be in America if he is in Jamaica. Also, does the mother have to get the green card before?
The mother, no, as long as the mother entered the United States with an immigrant visa. It should only take a few months, depending on what the category is.
Ken Kibbett says, hey, Brad, once you get a prima facie for a VAWA petition, yes, filed on the basis of abuse from a U.S. citizen, what comes after? Should I expect an interview, etc.?
Yes.
Kavita says, hey, Brad, how can I request the USCIS to put my I-485 on hold until the VAWA is approved?
You wait for your interview, and when the interview comes, you bring your receipt for your VAWA and ask them to do it at that point.
All right. Well, that's it.
I have Sharon Plummer here quickly, and then we're going to get to comments of the day, but she has a question right here. Just came in last second. She says, I got my green card in 2015. When I'm going to put my citizenship in, me and my husband are still together 3 years from the time you got your green card.
Awesome.
All right. Comments of the day.
We got some comments.
You got
for
some comments.
Yes, we do.
All right.
All right. Our first comment comes from Fox Racing. Brad, one day your show is going to be so huge, we're not even going to be able to say hello to all your viewers.
I hope so. I hope so, but I'll always remember.
You will always,
yes.
Yeah, you'll remember the little people. Is that what you're about to say?
I will always remember I'll remember the big people. The big people were always the ones who were with me from the beginning.
Absolutely.
So I remember the big people.
There you go. Our second one comes from Facebook. Zane Superman Goody. Zane Super Mom Goody.
Yes.
Remember Gooden? We were saying, like, do we remember her or not? She says, hey, Been around listening every day. Comments when I can, because I'm listening at work and I'm a customer service rep who assists customers with one of the Bluetooth ear in one ear while listening to them in the other.
That's hilarious.
My excuse for the one earphone in my ear is that I got an ear infection. I know I'm a top mountain top fan.
Boy, when she's faking ear infections to listen to us, that's love. Now that's a big person that I will always remember.
She did say it. She said, I'm a top mountaintop fan.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Our third one is on YouTube from Ken Kibbe. Hey, Brad Squad. Brad Show Live. This show is amazingly satisfying. Still looking forward for Hump Day.
All right, that's tomorrow. Yep.
Trust me, you'll get what you're looking for.
You may get a little more.
Right. Our other one would be on YouTube. Tanisha Tennant. Every day I learn something new about different cultures and race, and I love it. Great job, Brad and team. This is very informative and surely add to my knowledge.
I like it. I like it.
Yes.
Very nice.
And our last one.
Boy, these comments. We started with comment of the day. It's now comment. It's like the top 10 comments of the day now.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Yeah. All right, and our last one comes from Asset Lindo on Facebook saying, Brad, I love you for being so compassionate. You look at people as human beings and not black and white. Thank you for showing that we all have blood running through our veins. The Lord blesses you continually.
That is very true. So thank you very much. And I try to do that every day. So
yeah, and that's all you can do. Is try.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's Hump Day. Get ready.
Woo!
See you tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.